Loktargar friends. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another Orc Mode workout. And today was Dynamic Effort Squat and Deadlift Day. So as usual, it was box squats and sumo deadlifts. Although we did increase weight slightly on these, and I'm trying to focus more, and as I got further into the box squat sets, of trying to get my footing a little wider, getting those toes and those knees out more, because what I'm trying to do is get more hamstring involvement, more posterior chain involvement into these squats, because I know that historically my squat will continue to go up as a result of that. And you guys saw the volume work, the back off work this week, right? My back off work would indicate that my max squat is actually already quite a bit higher than what it was when I tested last time. And we'll probably test my back squat coming up, not this week, but the week after. So next Monday, not this coming Monday, but the Monday after, I'll go ahead and test my back squat again. But I think it's going to be up substantially as I start ramping it up. Again, we'll see how the T-spine goes. You know, again, my thoracic rounding seems to be a lot better on that back off work. Like the rep work we did with 425 the other day, I felt like I wasn't having quite as much of that thoracic rounding. It seems to be correcting itself largely due to just training my T-spine more. All the good mornings, that stuff is paying off. You know, all of that back work is paying off. And I've been doing more of my direct hamstring work. So I'm trying to focus more on getting, again, more hamstring, more glute, all that stuff involved, posterior chain involvement with the box squats, which a lot of it has to do with foot position, has to do with knee position. And again, driving the knees out really early on. And eventually, if these get strong enough, I might start going to a slightly wider stance for my actual squat itself, for my back squats. But what people need to remember is that this will, even training wider on this, will still carry over directly to the more narrow stance Olympic style squat that I do. So I'm not that worried about it, and I'm not worried about it. And since I've switched over to flats, I'm using my Tims to back squat now for the back off work. It will probably keep me from going quite as deep, so that I only go an inch or two below parallel. And it will allow me to get a little more hamstring involvement. I'll get that myotatic reflex more. So hopefully over time, as long as I can keep my back strong enough and my core strong enough, which again, all the work on that's going to help, I think we're going to see that squat keep coming up. And I mean, that'll be nice if I can get my 500 at a weight of under 220 before I start cutting further down again later. That'll be great. So we'll see what happens. But that's kind of the goal. People have asked, and I guess I have to say this all the time because a lot of people are asking, hey, when are you going to cut further? I feel like I'm recomping a little bit right now. I'll cut further when I get strong at this body weight. I'm going to let myself sit in the high two teens, trying to stay under 220 and just maintain weight for a very, very long period of time. You guys got to remember, I was up to 255. And even the first DEXA scan, I was 239. So I'm over 20 pounds under that first DEXA scan, which was already part of the way into my cut. So by doing it this way, I'm letting my set points change. My body will get used to being at this weight, will get stronger. I will probably try to get stronger at this body weight than what I was at 240, 250 before I try to cut. In other words, I want to be stronger than I was before that cut. And I think we're coming up on it at a reasonable rate at this point. I want to be stronger than before my cut at this lighter body weight before I cut further. And I have enough body fat still because I'm at a nice healthy body fat. I'm not bodybuilder type body fat by any means. You guys will see when I'm shirtless coming up. But I'm not fat by any medical standard. I'm in the healthy range. I'm in the teens. I'm under 20%. Now, ideally for athleticism, and if I want peak fitness and peak athleticism, I do need to be leaner, right? But that's going to be over time. We're going to keep driving up performance, keep driving up strength, work capacity, conditioning, and then, trim calories a little bit and cut down. But I want to get to a very strong level again at this lighter body weight. And then we'll start trimming the extra fluff off. We'll trim the extra fat down. Again, I'll probably lose a little strength again when I do that, unless I do it very, very slowly, which that might be the method. I think eventually with what I'm doing now, it'll start coming off a little bit anyways. And so if I can do it pretty slow, I'll maintain strength better. And then we'll try to build strength again at the lighter body weight again. It's just going to be a process. There's a process to all of this. And it's one of, just for a lot of you guys out there, you everyday Joes who aren't going to blast a ton of gear, this is the way you're going to have to do stuff. This is the way you're going to have to do stuff, particularly as an advanced lifter. This stuff is all a slow process. And that's kind of the thing. This channel is for real people. For a lot of these channels, they use a bunch of gear. They're genetically gifted. They blast a bunch of drugs to achieve these quick results and then try to sell that to people. But that's not going to work for all of you who are buying it. You guys are going to end up getting discouraged, demoralized, and not realizing that maybe a goal that you think is a 6-month goal might be a 5-year goal. And when you're advanced lifters, you have to think in those terms. Like when you're an advanced lifter, you don't think in terms of what are my 3-month goals. Like, are you serious? You're not going to do shit in 3 months. You're not going to do shit in 3 months. You'd be thinking in terms of 1 year goals. 1 year, where do I want to be a year from now? What do I want to be 3 years from now, 5 years from now? Right? That's the sort of goals you guys have to set. Program accordingly. Sorry, there might be some background noise, but I'm not going to stop recording just because they're doing lawn work out there. I need to get this filmed and uploaded. But I noticed I was able to keep the speed pretty decent on these box squats, even with a slightly heavier weight than I've been doing. Of course, sometimes people will ask, why don't you post numbers for the dynamic work? Because it's not impressive. It's lightweight. I could see people caring about the max effort work, but not the dynamic work. So you should be able to count that. That's 345, right? Blue plates represent 45s. Red plates are 55s. White plates are 10s. Smaller blues are 5s. Greens are 25s. So look, that's 345 on the bar. Right? 3 plates. 3 plates. And a 10 and a 5 on each side with a standard Olympic bar. So 345 for 12 doubles on dynamic box squat. Now, it should be obvious that that's a lightweight. It's dynamic work, right? We're looking for compensatory acceleration, trying to be as explosive as possible. So I got 12 sets today. 12 sets. Then we went over to deadlifts. Sumo pulls for speed, and I'm going to do these shirtless for a while. No, I don't care. Some people have also said, oh, we see some fat rolling up over your belt at the top. It's like, well, yeah, I have loose skin and I have some body fat. Well, 17% body fat on the DEXA scan. I clearly have well over 30 pounds of fat on my body, and that puts me in the healthy range. I'm not worried about it. I'll trim down further later. So what? At least I'm willing to get on camera and squeeze that belt up tight and do some pulling, right? No harm done. All good. Get on here and lift. So what are we doing for speed work? 455 for singles on the sumo pulls. Now, again, I noticed I played with footing a little bit today on the different ones, and I noticed that, again, when I go a little narrower than some of these early sets, I'm more explosive. So I think for me, as far as speed goes, I need to just keep a relatively narrow, almost a hybrid stance for sumo pulling, because I'm just more explosive out of the bottom. And these are for speed. Also, what are we doing here? Hook grip. I've had people say things like, well, why are you letting your hook grip limit all this work? Well, because what's the point of deadlifting a weight that you can't grip? So I've got to keep building my hook grip up with all this volume, and it will be my limiting factor, and that's fine. Like, for my purposes, why would I bother to really pull with straps very often, other than maybe occasionally for more volume? I don't need it. If I need to work a hip hinge and I don't care about my forearms and grip strength or any of that, why would I deadlift? Why wouldn't I just do good mornings? They're easier to recover from anyways. They train everything but the grip end of it, right? Good mornings train your erectors. They train your hamstrings, your hips, your glutes, all that stuff. So why wouldn't I just do good mornings? So I always will just do more good mornings for volume. I'm trying to build my grip. I'm trying to build this hook grip, toughen my thumbs up. And so I'm going to pull as much with it as I can, as much volume as I can get away with. And I had to stop at 9, which is good because this is the first time I've done this weight for any sort of volume for speed pulls, because I bumped the weight up a little bit. And to get 9, I wanted to try to get 10. I told myself if I could get 10, then I would skip good mornings, right? That's what I try to reward myself with, because then I would have gotten enough training volume off this and it'd be fine. I got to 9 and I almost had to turn loose at the top on the 9th one because my thumbs were just throbbing. and I realized I probably couldn't pull a 10th one. So I had to do good mornings. So that's the way I do stuff like that. That's what I told myself starting this when I got to the 4th or 5th one, that if I can get 10, I'll skip the good mornings. And I was pretty fatigued after this too. The 12 doubles on the speed boxes, and then 9 speed pulls sumo with a hook grip. Definitely was feeling some fatigue kick in by the end of this. Because it's been a pretty heavy training week, right? We've hit some good numbers this week. Got a press PR, right? We got the 225 standing press again. First time at this lighter body weight. Did a 100-pound chin up. I got a 500 deficit, 3-inch deficit deadlift, right? So that was a big deal. Heaviest I've pulled off of a deficit since coming back. And what else did we do? Then I managed to knock out a triple after doing that deficit deadlift. I knocked out a triple with 425 on the back squat for back off work. Not in a lifting shoes, but in my Timbs. And, and it was clean. And then did another set after that. So it's been a pretty hefty training week, plus all the accessory work and ab work and everything else. It's been a tough week. And I still have to do dynamic pressing tomorrow. So this was pretty fatiguing near the end, but it was a PR in terms of speed pulls. PR weight for total volume and weight on the box squat for speed work. So again, been good progression. Like I'm earning that deload coming up, that half-week deload. But I went ahead and did my good morning because I only got 9. I didn't get 10. I have to do good mornings. Now, I didn't do sets of 10 on these 8s. Hurt. It was just like my back felt shot. But I need that extra volume, right? We need that extra volume. I have a bit of a deload coming. It's okay if I overreach a hair, right? It's fine if I overreach a hair. I'll recover next week. It's all good. And I'll probably do a pretty large amount of volume tomorrow for my pressing. I'll probably do a bunch of JM presses afterwards. Again, earn it. But the good mornings went good. I mean, it's like they were actually fairly tough. And we come back to that point of if I need more volume for a hip hinge, if my hook grip or my grip in general is giving out, I don't need to strap up. I'll go do something that's easier to recover from than a deadlift. I'll just do more good mornings. I'm training a very similar movement pattern. It's very similar to a deadlift. I'm working all the muscles, but I'm able to do more volume with it in a way that's not as tough on recovery. And the other things I'll do after this, I will do Glute-Ham Raises and Abs. In fact, I started on my GHR on some of the days when I've been doing my actual work on there. I started doing Glute-Ham Raise Abs, like doing sit-ups on it. Instead of doing my band work, I did that yesterday. And it's like, wow, that was a totally different feeling. I'll keep doing band crunches and stuff, but it was definitely unique. I haven't really messed with the sit-ups on there. I know we just had Dana Lynn Bailey get Rehabdo from doing it, but I thought I would try it. And yeah, they're different. It's just more core work that I could add in with the equipment I have available. So it was awesome. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.